So let's look at this last piece from Trungpa Rinpoche. Surrendering is not a question of being low and stupid, nor of wanting to be elevated and profound. It has nothing to do with levels and evaluation. Instead, we surrender because we would like to communicate with the world as it is. We do not have to classify ourselves as leaders or ignorant people. We know where we stand, therefore we make the gesture of surrendering or opening, which means communication, link, direct communication with the object of our surrendering. We are not embarrassed about our rich collection of raw, rugged, beautiful, and clean qualities. We present everything to the object of our surrendering. The basic act of surrender does not involve the worship of an external power. Rather, it means working together with inspiration so that one becomes an open vessel into which knowledge can be poured. Thus, openness and surrendering are the necessary preparation for working with a spiritual friend. We acknowledge our fundamental richness rather than bemoan the imagined poverty of our being. We know we are worthy to receive the teachings, worthy of relating ourselves to the wealth of the opportunities for learning. And this question of worth is also interesting in aligning with Jesus's teachings. He has some pretty strict messages in the Gospels that those who are worthy of him kind of have to give up everything else to be his disciple. And in church services, at least Catholic ones, I'm not sure about Episcopalian, there is a message before the Eucharist of, we are not worthy, is the phrase, to receive you, but yet you're going to let us receive you anyway. The Shambhala Buddhist path teaches that you are worthy, and what is contradictory is interesting. There is in some of the Christian traditions, or perhaps a Catholic tradition, this idea that we must debase ourselves and suggest we are insignificant and not worthy of this divine hand. But the Shambhala Buddhist path says we are worthy, and in our humanity, which might be terrifying, the vulnerability is terrifying to us and perhaps others at times. That is our worthiness. It is not acquiring material things. It is not acquiring prestige or status that makes us worthy. We are just inherently worthy in ourselves. Jesus wanted vigilant disciples, not wordy, empty people who wanted to align with him for their own tribal gratification, but instead to truly love him, right? He says the Father wants us to worship in truth and in spirit. It's not just go to church, say your words, because that is what he came to complain about. That is what he came to call out as fake and nonsensical and not helping anybody. And yet, people who put him now at the forefront of their churches can do the same exact things. So it's really about a purity of heart and a sincerity of heart to come to him and truly learn his messages in relationship to him as a spiritual guru, as a spiritual teacher, like Buddha is a spiritual guru or spiritual teacher. And there are a lot of messagings in organized religion, institutional religion, that suggests one must put one religion over the other. And my religion is the only one that is the true religion. If Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the light, life? Yes, the life. I always think he could also say the light. Then nobody gets to the Father but through me, right? Is what he says. But sometimes things are taken out of context. He's trying to say to the group of people that he's in, listen, there's a lot of nonsensical people talking around here. There's a lot of people who are just looking out for their own pocketbooks. Please turn to me because I'm telling you, I'm the authentic, genuine, real thing. But it doesn't mean that he is debasing or degrading other spiritual traditions or suggesting that his is the only one. Because simultaneously, he says, my father's house has many rooms. So he's using this term father to describe the all, the higher divine nature, and he is a human form who is bringing that purpose forth through his being. But he is not suggesting that other religions don't know what they're talking about. No, we all have rooms in my father's house, but I'm here to help you and let you know that hypocrites and liars and deceivers and people who are telling you they know what they're doing, they're looking out for their own egos, their own pocketbooks. They're degrading people, they're treating people poorly. Don't look for the truth through them and don't expect God to be speaking through them because they might have very opposite aims. But you can trust me. You can rest on me. I am going to tell you the truth. And his process was not one of acclaim in his lifetime. That acclaim came later. His story came later, but it was a kind of materialistic degradation. No money, no place to stay, and very hurtful behaviors directed toward him because he caused such frustration and anger to those in power. Because he shone a light over and over and over to what they were actually doing. And the wool could not stay over people's eyes. People had to discover, oh, these people in power are actually aligning themselves with God or suggesting they know morality and right and wrong, but they're the very false prophets um, that Jesus is speaking of. And we as humans need to do our own inner work of discernment between who is the true and who is the false. Who's telling me the truth? Who's telling me lies? And we need to know that in order to step into our own awakening and our own enlightenment, even if that enlightenment doesn't win you a lot of friends and influence a lot of people. So that is my message for you today, spiritual materialism. I find these things endlessly fascinating. So, blessings.